Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Wednesday, August the 7th. Now in this video I'm going to be covering the 5-game night slate. We do have a really big early slate for today, and if you are planning to play the early slate, I did make a video on that, so I would appreciate it if you would check that out. The video is already up on my channel. Pretty much went over the early slate, talked about pitching, hitting, where I want to go, how I'm going to be approaching it. We're going to do the same for this video for the 5-game night slate, talk about pitching, start off at the top and work our way through the player pool. I'll be sure to hit on all the options that I like for today. Then we'll look at 3 specific hitters I really like. We'll talk about some stacks that I'll be going to. And then towards the end of the video, we'll look at some BVP plays as well. Before we do get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. So at the top of the pitcher player pool, our most expensive pitcher today is Eduardo Rodriguez. He has $10K on DraftKings in a matchup at home against the Royals. So I don't really feel like I need to pay $10K for Erod on this slate. They're just guys that I think give you just as much upside that are cheaper. For example, James Paxton, $1,000 cheaper against the Orioles, I feel like is a much better play. Erod's not a bad pitcher. He's a pretty decent pitcher, but he's just not a guy you need to pay $10K for. Just doesn't really have monster strikeout upside. You look at his last 10 games, he only has one game with double-digit Ks, and that was against the Dodgers. He did have a game with 9 Ks against Minnesota, but usually you only get like 5 or 6 strikeouts out of Erod per matchup. I just don't feel like I need to pay $10K for him. James Paxton's the guy that I want. James Paxton, although he has really struggled this year, is a guy that can go out there and get double-digit strikeouts pretty much any time he steps on the mound. And this is obviously a very favorable matchup facing the Orioles. Orioles lineup that does have strikeouts in it. Pretty low total for the Orioles, just a 4.2 implied run total, which is towards the bottom of the slate, only behind the Royals with 3.9. So I really like Paxton here. He's a heavy favorite as well, which is always a plus. I think he's the number 1 pitcher for me. Would not be surprised at all if he outscores Erod. I think he has a pretty good chance to outscore Erod. So I'm going to be going to Paxton the most today as my SP1. And then for SP2, there's really no standout clear option. I would say my favorite option, though, is Joey Lucchesi, 8,600 against the Mariners. This is definitely not an ideal price for Lucchesi at 8,600, but it's a 5-game slate. We're really limited with what our options are, so I don't mind paying this price tag for Lucchesi on a short slate. If this was like a 15-game slate, I would not be playing him, but on a 5-gamer, he does stand out here. It is a pretty good matchup against the Mariners. The Mariners do have a lot of strikeouts in their lineup versus left-handed pitching. They also have a pretty left-handed heavy lineup. They're going to be rolling out at least like 4 or 5 lefties. A lot of those lefties will strike out versus left-handed pitching. Lucchesi's not a bad pitcher. He's pretty much an average pitcher. In this matchup, though, I think he can give you some upside. I do like him a lot here at 8,600. I think going Paxton Lucchesi is going to be the way I really go on this night slate. Those are going to be the 2 guys I look to the most. You could pay up for Erod, but I'd just rather play Paxton. If you're looking for a really cheap pitcher, my favorite option would probably be like Kikuchi at 5K against the Padres. Very dangerous matchup. The Padres do have a lot of power, but they also have some strikeouts in their lineup. Kikuchi is dirt cheap. He's only 5K. He is someone you could potentially look to as a value pitcher, especially if you want to stack the Red Sox or the Yankees, which I think is something we're going to want to try and do. Right now, the Red Sox have a 6.7 implied run total against Glenn Sparkman. Yankees have a 6 implied run total against John Means. Those are 2 teams we're going to want to stack up, and they do have a lot of expensive bats in their lineups. So if you want to take a shot on Kikuchi, I wouldn't mind it on a short slate, but I'm going to probably be going with a lot of Paxton and Lucchesi today. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for pitcher today. Pretty much think we covered it all. So now we want to talk about some bats. I mentioned those 2 teams, Yankees and Red Sox. Those are the 2 teams that really stand out to me. A couple guys that I really like from the Red Sox. Leading off, Mookie Betts, I think, is one of the better plays on the slate at 5,200. He's really not that expensive when you compare him to some of the other guys on the team. He's actually the cheapest of all the stud hitters on the Red Sox. He's cheaper than Devers, Bogarts, Martinez, and Benintendi. All of them are over 5,200, whereas Mookie is 5,200. Mookie just has so much power. Obviously has just a really good hitter, has speed as well. Pretty much the full package. Glenn Sparkman, been struggling all year to righties and to lefties, been giving up a lot of home runs. This is such a good spot for the Red Sox. They're going to be my number 1 stack. I'm going to try and fit in as many Red Sox bats as I can today. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some lineups where I plant at pitcher with Kikuchi because I do want to get a full Red Sox stack in there. And if you want a full Red Sox stack, you're going to have to play at least one or two cheap pitchers, if not two cheap pitchers, with how expensive these Red Sox bats are. But Mookie, I really like at 5,200. Then at second base, you do get a lot of value with a guy like Brock Holt. He's only 3,300, which is very nice looking for fillers in your stack. He should be batting probably 5th or 6th. Not a guy that has a lot of power, but he's just a talented hitter. He can put the ball in play. He doesn't strike out much. And Glenn Sparkman, just a really bad pitcher. This guy will give up home runs to anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Holt hit a home run here, even though he's not known for a power hitter. Sparkman's just that bad, so I do like Holt as a cheap value, cheap guy you can get exposure to from the Red Sox. I'm going to be trying to get in as many Red Sox bats as I can today. Holt's going to allow me to get in a couple more of those expensive guys since he's only 3,300, and he does have a pretty nice spot in the batting order, batting like 5th or 6th. So he's someone I'm going to be looking to from the Red Sox. Obviously, I do like the Yankees as well against John Means, but another team that I think you can target is the Diamondbacks versus Jason Vargas. Jason Vargas, not a guy I believe in, always a guy I look to take hitters against, especially right-handed hitters that have some power. So you look at the 2 through 6 with Ketel Marte, Escobar, Walker, Jones, and Flores, even Nick Ahmed, even Carson Kelly, honestly. All those guys have a little bit of power. One that really stands out for me is Christian Walker. I like him a lot at first base. He's only 4,100. This is a guy that has a ton of power versus left-handed pitching. Vargas will give up home runs to righties. He has struggled to righties pretty much throughout his career and to this year. And although Vargas can get some strikeouts, I'm not really worried about that in this matchup. The Diamondbacks don't really strike out much versus left-handed pitching. They have a lot of righties that put the ball in play versus lefties and don't strike out much. Christian Walker does have a higher K rate than most players on the Diamondbacks roster, but still this is a guy with a ton of power. 20 home runs on the year, would not be surprised at all if he takes Vargas deep. I did play a couple White Sox bats against Vargas in his last start. I did play Jose Abreu in a couple lineups, and he homered. Vargas had sort of just a mediocre start, went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs to give up a home run with 5 strikeouts. I could see Vargas doing something similar to that, going 5 or 6 innings, maybe giving up like 6, 7 hits, giving up some runs, maybe giving up a home run or 2. Definitely could see Christian Walker hitting one off of Vargas. So he's going to be a guy that I look to a lot, whether I'm stacking the Diamondbacks or I just want a one-off at first base. Really like going to Christian Walker. But that's it for my 5 plays for this 5-game night slate. Now let's go ahead and look at some stacks real quick. Then we'll talk about BVP before we end the video. So I think there are 2 clear top stacks today. The Red Sox number 1 for me, the Yankees number 2. The Yankees are a little bit cheaper than the Red Sox, so they might be easier to fit in. But they also don't have like any dirt cheap value. Like you don't have like a $3,300 player batting 5th or 6th in the Yankees lineup like you do with the Red Sox lineup. Also, Moreland's at 41. Vasquez is kind of expensive, but Jackie Bradley Jr. is only 3,800. So you get kind of more value from the Red Sox lineup, but overall, the pricing of the Yankees lineup is going to be cheaper since you don't have a ton of hitters over 5K. Only hitter 5K and above is LeMahieu and Tauchman. But for stacks, Red Sox number 1, Yankees number 2. For value, I do like going to some Diamondbacks versus Jason Vargas, like Walker at 41, Jones at 39. Wilmer Flores I like a lot at 3,300 if you're not playing Brock Holt. Even like Escobar at 4,600 feels like a really good play. So I do like a Diamondback stack today. And then if you're not playing Kikuchi, you could definitely look to some of these power bats from the Padres, specifically the righties. So Tatis, Machado, Renfroe, if you want to play those guys, you could definitely look to them. But really it's going to be the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Diamondbacks. Those are going to be the 3 teams I'm the heaviest on this night slate. But now let's go ahead and look at BVP real quick before we end the video. So just 3 BVP plays for this night slate. Starting off with Orlando Arcia. He's gone 4 for 12 off Trevor Williams. Alex Gordon has gone 4 for 10 off of Erod. And Alex Avila has gone 5 for 17 with 2 home runs off Jason Vargas. So that's it for BVP for the night slate. And I think that is it for this video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. And hopefully it did help you. Like always, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like before you get out of here. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you do have any questions, you can leave any questions down in the comment section below. Or if you have Twitter, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. I'm always active on Twitter, always checking my DMs. So if you need to message me, feel free to do so there. But I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed, and good luck on the night slate. Peace.